Hey, Pimples, I got a birthday boy here.
Wasn't it his birthday last week?
That was his twin brother, long labor. Just get the birthday lady.
Birthday lady?
You'll see, my friend. You'll see.
Hey, I hear it's someone's special day. There's a special day for everyone that comes but once a year. And for you, my love, that day of days is here. So have a happy birthday, baby. I hope your dreams come true. Wink, wink, the way mine have with you. That special day, I'd like to say I wish you every happiness. I hope you're feeling fine. I am. Now have a real good time.
This place really pays attention to the suggestion cards.
Say, baby, mine. Woo!
Gotta love the birthday lady. She wants to wish you a happy birthday, baby. How is everybody? How is everybody today? I'm having a pretty good day so far. It's been pretty good. I woke up and it was yeah. I, you know, the I'm not going to get to. I'm only going to bring up this briefly. And I'm not trying to dwell on it. I'm not going to dwell on it. I'm not going to dwell on it. But we all know the state of things is just kind of shit now, and it sucks, and everything's terrible. But you know, right here in my own little 5 feet of space here in this house, like things have been okay for me lately, and all things considered, that's about all I can ask for right now. Yeah, I know some cool people, got some cool things going on, and I'm still alive after 48 years, and after this month, I'll finally be getting rid of my dick. That's just, that's all, that's not bad. It's not bad. Hey everybody, hello Trash Manoy, hello Penny, hello Matcha. Hi everybody who is here tuning in. I'm just gonna mention a couple things before moving on to the whatever I'm doing today. Um, in my last stream, I mentioned we watched the Fantastic Funnies, and a couple of the comics that were mentioned. One of them included Andy Capp, and I was all like, I heard that author's a pretty cool, smart guy. I heard, and but when Al Capp, the artist of Little Abner, was mentioned, I mentioned the same thing. I was like, I heard he was a really cool, smart guy, and then the someone in chat reminded me, no, Al Capp kind of was a racist and a product of his time, but still kind of that great a guy. And I'm like, oh, never mind, my mistake. And I would like to make it clear that he's not that cool. And you probably see where I'm going. I kind of assumed, I kind of forgot that Al Capp was the author of Little Abner. I thought he was the author of Andy Capp, because his name is Al Capp, and that's a very similar name. So, you know, it's hard, especially for me in this day and age, in these times, not to assume that Andy Capp is like the self-insert of the author, and so therefore the author's name would be Al Capp, and Andy Capp is his OC self-insert. I think, I don't have it on hand now, but I think the actual name of the author of Andy Capp is like Ray Smythe or something like that. And he is like the smart guy, and that's what I heard. I heard that like it's just from other cartoonists that like they were surprised at how cool he was because he does a comic about a guy who hates his wife and stuff. And you wouldn't think that would be like a kind of progressive-minded person writing that comic, but apparently it is. and and then of course the thing about Andy Cap is there used to be more to that comic than that. I mean, it used to be better, just like all newspaper comics. It got kind of condensed down to a 3-panel format that did its thing and did it well over and over again, and that was just him hanging out at the bar and going to his house and getting kicked out by his wife and ending up on his butt. But apparently it was more interesting before. Hello, Toth. I don't care about fighting games, so if Evo's going on, that's cool. I'm sure I'll do okay against Evo. Is it? Did you fuck up my Animal Crossing island on my birthday? That's pretty cool. That's pretty badass, actually. That's pretty metal. That's pretty brave. Speaking of bravery. Oh, okay. Okay, so close enough during the summer. Okay. Well, we could say it was on my birthday. We can stretch the truth a little because it makes the story a little more daring. Oh man, I haven't opened up my my last Animal Crossing town in a long time. It's really funny. Every time I played Animal Crossing, I was a collector. And I didn't really put that much effort into making my town and house or anything look good. I hold on a second. I kind of realizing it's all quiet. Let me keep playing the music in the background. I'll just turn it down a bit. Okay. Ooh. What was I talking about? Andy Cap is not related to Beetle Bailey as far as I know, although both of them had comics that probably started out more interesting than they ended up being. Yeah, my last... Usually when I play Animal Crossing, I don't really do it right. I'm a collect-a-thoner. The very first Animal Crossing game, I had like the memory card, the special little memory card that came with it that was exactly big enough to keep one Animal Crossing town on. So I had my original Animal Crossing town on one of those cards, and I got almost every single item in the first Animal Crossing game, which, it was the first Animal Crossing game, so there weren't quite as many items as there ended up being later on in the updates. In the sequels, but it's still a whole lot of goddamn items, and I just collected all of them mostly legit, doing every holiday and all that. And then there were some dummied out items like the Zelda game and Mario Brothers and stuff like that. I went so far as to get a Game Shark so I could unlock those items. And I got those, and pretty much I got just about everything except for the what was it? The mayor's house model, whatever the last town model is, you get for like getting 100 million bells or some insane shit. People did calculations, and it would take like 11 years to do that. So I mean, if I looked at my town now, maybe I accrued enough interest or whatever to get to get that model. I don't think I still have that town. My memory card might be somewhere in my pile of gadgets, but I don't know. But anyway, when COVID hit, like the latest Animal Crossing town I actually made look pretty good. I remember now, and I need to I should look it up and just see what I did there. It was one of those fever dream kind of moments where I did a lot of work and the town looks great, and if I were to think back and try to remember how I did it, I would have no idea. And this was after I stopped drinking too. I would still just not remember how I did any of it. That's probably still on my Switch. Now that I'm thinking about it, I could fire up my Switch and look now, but maybe later. I didn't get all the achievements. Thankfully, I'm out of my collector's must 100% everything that mentality that kind of died. It died with Rock Band 3, I think, because Rock Band 3 had like 8,000 of its in-game achievements, and most of them were impossible. And I was like, well, we've gotten to this point. They're just not going to let me 100% games anymore, and I better stop trying, or I'll drive myself crazy. And like now with like modern things like retro achievements, having all these sets that are insanely frustrating to complete, I'm glad I don't do that anymore. When I was talking about bravery earlier, I was just thinking, like, with this MasterCard and Visa thing going on, we're finally fighting these payment processors for things they've been doing for decades, being little shits and acting like they have the right to tell us what to do about various things. We're standing up to it because they finally attacked video games, and that was like the straw that broke the camel's back. And I know there are people who are being like, man, I wish they stood up for us for when they were doing it to sex workers and adult artists when they've been doing that forever. And that's true. I agree with that. But the fact is, you know, it's now. We're in the now, and people are fighting now, and it's nice to see. And I'll take it. I was just kind of thinking though, like, a lot of people made the very good point, a point that I made myself quite a lot, to the point where it almost ruined my life, that we gotta fight for everything. We gotta fight for adult comics that we might not like ourselves, that might make us a little uncomfortable. And it's nice to see that too. It's nice to see other people saying that. It's, I used to be a shit about that myself, so I did I did a full, like, well, fuck me, I shouldn't have been like that 180 regarding, like, you know, comics about, like, we call it non-con, because that's a nicer word. Comics about that, comics about NTR and stuff. I still don't really get NTR. I mean, I do get NTR in as much as I understand why people would find it hot. I understand why people would find it hot. I just personally cannot get it. I cannot get it into my brain and make me find it hot myself. But still, I will run over people with steamrollers to defend NTR. And I was also thinking, like, you know what would be, like, the bravest thing in the entire world? What if, like, no one in America has tried this. No one in America has tried it yet. But we need to, what if, and I don't expect this to happen anytime soon, but what if an American company finally started doing, like official translations of comics by Waita Uziga? What if someone actually tried that, and people had to stand up for that too, which they should, because it doesn't hurt. They don't hurt anybody. Those comics don't hurt anybody, and they're very funny and ridiculous, and I enjoy them. But man, wouldn't that be just kind of sexy if somebody, like, mustered up all their courage and was like, yeah, we gotta let this happen too. we gotta let Mai-chan's everyday life happen. Gotta protect everything. This might not be the time or place to actually do that, but I was just thinking the other day just what a crazy act of bravery that would be. And, like, I would just be like, yeah. I don't know. I don't know how many people besides me. Probably more people than probably people who know who Waita Ziga is won't actually talk about it. Only dorks like me will do that. But I haven't really looked at his stuff in a while, honestly, because back when I was more depressed, I would look at Guro comics more often, and now that I'm a little less sad all the time, I'm a little less inclined to, but I'll still just kind of sometimes check out this and that just for the sheer, like, it's sort of like getting an adrenaline charge, right? It's like getting a little bit of a, it's like hitting yourself in the head with a frying pan. Sometimes you just want to do that to feel a little bit of a charge, and that's kind of what reading those Guro comics are like. And like if you're to stand up for that kind of thing, that's what I would say. Like that's it's not about even satisfying any innate urges or anything like that. Because obviously, I don't want to kill anybody. I don't want to kill and dismember people and throw them out the window. I don't want to do that. But seeing it can just be kind of funny. Seeing it in comic form, especially because it's kind of gross when it happens in a movie or something. Because cartoons make it a little easier. But like, obviously, nobody reading those comics has become a murderer. As far as I know, Waita Uziga is not in jail. He didn't slaughter anyone so far. John K. Peta, yeah, he's another one of those weird artists. He doesn't really do guro, just really unpleasant sex. And I thought his stuff was interesting up to the point where it became known that he traced over a lot of people. That offends me 10 times more than any weird fucking he drew, where he had people fuck the pee hole, which is like makes you want to scream just thinking about it. John K. Peta did stuff like that, but like the tracing, the stealing from other artists is much worse. Much worse. Fuck him. Anyway, I stand by Waitu Iziga. All his comics except maybe Schoolgirl in Concrete, which might have been going a bit far. Although that wasn't really his comic. That was another guy's comic that he commissioned Uziga for, and I don't know. I feel like a comic like that, about a real actual person, they probably should have signed off with the parents on something like that, and I don't know if they did. I don't think they did. How would you approach their parents about that? Hey, you're that daughter of yours that got brutally tortured and murdered. Mind if we draw a comic about that in gory detail? Would they really walk up to the parents and ask that? I mean, I guess somebody had to do that with Matthew Shepard's parents, but on the other hand, that Boys Don't Cry was like an award-winning movie. It wasn't a comic drawn by a guro artist. Anyway, moving on. That was my guru talk today. Yeah, tracers are the original AI. They've made better and more powerful tools to steal now. Yay! We're going to move on to a good artist called Ryosuke Mita. I think I'm going to start the anime viewing now. Onakaiba. Let's see. Hold on a second. I'm gonna make a new scene in real time here. I just realized I usually, like, when I watch movies and stuff, I take my starting screen here and I rearrange stuff. And I need to, like, stop that. I need to, like, hold on a second. How do I, no. How do I copy this scene? How do I copy? Hold on. Duplicate. There we go. Okay. Now we get this over here. Hello, everybody. We turn this off. Then we move chat. We move this over. No, not me. This. Okay, move this over a bit. This gets moved over to the right. Not completely naked. I'm wearing a little bit. I need to move chat over here. Okay. That portrait that was there was Keddy. Really, really cool artist who draws really cute girls. Who has very much the same taste in cartoon girls as I do, and always nice finding an artist like that. Okay. I think we're good to go here. Let me just find my folder. They're making a new Katamari game. I saw that announcement. Apparently there was a Nintendo Direct. I didn't even know it happened. It's very unusual for me to not even know about a Nintendo Direct. And honestly, if I did know, I probably wouldn't have watched it anyway, which is another unusual thing. Like it's the first Nintendo Direct I missed like in decades. And I'm just like, yeah, I don't know. I'm not a Nintendo girl anymore. That's just kind of how it is. I don't know how it is. But between the time the Switch 1 and the Switch 2 came out, I became a PC gamer. And that kind of changed everything, you know? Once a console gets announced, I'm like, hey, look at all these games that are coming out. I could play one of them that I need the console for. The rest I can just play now without having to buy a console. I could just do that. Sorry, it's taking me a while. And that's just kind of how I see things now. So, like, right now, I wouldn't mind getting a Switch 2. It's just that... Okay. It's just that, is that a dub? Is this a dub? Audio track. I might watch the English version of this, but hold on a second. Let me see if I got the Weeaboo version. But yeah, it's like if I were buying the Switch 2 now, I would essentially be paying like $550 some odd for Donkey Kong. That's essentially what I'd be doing. And that game looks really good. I don't know if I want to pay $550 for one game right now. I think there needs to be at least a couple other games. I could swear I had another copy of Dragon Half on here. Maybe not. Maybe I did not download it. I didn't know this was dub only. I mean, sure. I could watch the... No, wait. Here we go. This is dub too. I have two... No. Okay, does this have subtitles? No. Well, that's a shame. Okay, let's watch. You know what? It's fine. I'll just talk while this is going on. Wait, it had a subtitle for the episode title. This must be from like the 80-vision DVD, and they forgot to include the track when they ripped it. Anyway, the reason we're watching this is because it's out of print now, and I have kind of tested this. Over the years. Not over the years, over the past couple weeks. And it seems like I can play out-of-print anime on Twitch without getting in trouble. I watched Shamanic Princess last time. Anyway, Mink is voiced by Sailor Moon, as some of you may or may not already know. This isn't the only anime that does this, but it's the first one I've seen that does this, where the characters just constantly switch between different forms. So Mink is in love with that guy who was on the TV earlier, Dick Saucer, and her dad is really jealous because he used to be a sword fighter. And he's also a horrible pervert, her dad. Dick Saucer starts his concerts by going so-sa, which is like a Japanese pun because it's like so-sa is saucer, but also like, yeah, that's right. Yeah, like, so this is like the first anime I've seen where like the characters are constantly switching between chibi form and kind of a squat form or full-on sexy form, like back, depending on the situation. And I was just totally entranced by it. So Roos fell in love with the dragon that he was sent to slay by this guy, King Shiva. So he went and married the dragon. And the king wants to kill Roos because he's in love with the dragon too. As we've seen earlier, the dragon can become human. So like, I've been thinking of doing. I'll never actually do it, but I like to fantasize about doing my own reboot version of Dragon Half. And if I did, I would probably change that. I would make it so that like Mana the dragon, Mink's mom, I would make it so that she has like a human-ish form, maybe, but she would still be a huge buff dragon, and Roos would be in love with that, not like the cute little dainty human form that she can turn into. That she can at best be like, just like a big huge muscle dragon that still has a lot of scales and stuff. Like absolutely, like, absolutely normal and good. Yes, to fall in love with dragons. Hello, form. Rosario is a minion of Shiva, and he is now being sent to kill. I think he's being sent to kidnap, rather, Mink, not kill her. Mink is Roos's daughter, so, like, you know, barred up. Lufa is Mink's terrible best friend. She's like the worst friend in the world. And Pia is her really young-looking friend, but she's like the same age as all of them because she's a dwarf. So, like, she looks really young because she's small, but she's not. And then Mappy is her pet mouse. Named after the video game character, yes. Thank you, Jeannie. It's been a good day. Speaking of scalies, like, which Roos obviously is, he's like a gigantic scaly. I've always been somewhat of a scaly myself. But, I gotta say that lately I've been really huge scaly. And I need to draw more scales. I need to, like, I have my bunny form. What if I had, like, another form? What if I had another OC that was based on me? That was also like a reptile. And then, what kind of reptile should it be? Dick Saucer is the name of the guy, of the singer. His trap did not work on Mink. He wanted to lure her with a Dick Saucer ticket. But he got so mad he kept shooting her with darts. And he accidentally killed her, quote unquote, but Mink is the main character, she can't die that easy. It's funny how, like, he basically murdered Mink and it's played for laughs here. Except, oh no! He hit her with enough poison to kill a giant. But turns out Mink is not an ordinary girl. And that's kind of another thing too. You know, this comic came out in 1988. 1988 was a hell of a long time ago. And I think certain things here and there weren't really invented yet. certain kinds of furries, just people didn't really know about them. Scalies, people didn't really know a whole lot about. Slime girls, people didn't know about. Like this this show ostensibly has a slime girl in it, but it's not a goo girl. It's a girl who, we'll see later, she's just completely human, but she can change into a Dragon Quest slime. She changes between that. Like like she's either a little blob slime or just a completely normal human girl. Nothing in between. And I'm just thinking, like that's one of the reasons I think Dragon Half would be a fun little thing to like maybe reimagine, right? Because like now we got goo girls and stuff like that. We can make Mina the slime half. We can make her a goo girl now because we know about goo girls. And Mink herself, the main character, like she's just a human with like little dragon wings and horns, and that's about it. Then we could put some scales on her. We could make her green, right? Green or red, you know, dragon colored. Put like little alligator belly on her. I think that would work. Gosh, she is so Sailor Moon. I didn't know Sailor Moon that well when I first saw Dragon Half. But now that I do, I'm like, yeah, that's Kotono. Anyway, this is the slime girl. She's like, Mink is like, a guy tricked me, and she was like, did that guy look like a manju like this? And then she stretches her face out. And now she's saying she's the president of the Dick Saucer fan club, and she's mad at Mink for insulting her dad, even though she's the one that did it. She has the power to do this, apparently. Golem. I don't know, I think their ears are probably normal sized. A lot of artists these days draw really big ears on their characters. I kind of noticed that. I do it. A lot of people do it. I think it's one of those things I think we can blame Mal for. Not Mal for. Brian O'Malley. I think it's one of those things we can blame him for, because the big ears. I think it's his fault. We have to go to his place and be like, thanks, Mal, everyone's drawing big ears now and it's your fault. You know, I don't think Mina ever does. I don't think she ever does stuff. Even the comic is pretty short. It's only 7 volumes long. Not really enough time for her to become a good guy. She kind of stays a villain, although at the very end, when they're fighting like the huge, big, bad demon, they don't really team up per se. They just kind of. Been done, yeah. I don't know. Don't know how many people were really influenced by Been Done since 1990 anyway, but Mink's so like, I'm just a normal girl and I like Dick Saucer, okay? Dick is back there being like, uh-huh. And then Vina's like, you a normal girl? Look at those dragon parts. You're a freak. And that made Mink really sad. Oh yeah, Detective Conan artist. There are a lot of people to blame, I guess. Here's everyone's favorite character, Damaramu. He's a huge guy, and they just draw him all really squat there for that one little scene. Now he's back to being huge. Like, the comic is full of stuff like this. Like, Mita Ryusuke, the artist, was so good at knowing when and where to draw people in whatever shape he needed. He was a very big influence on me back in the day. I don't know if his influence is as obvious these days, but It's still kind of there. And yes, all the girls have huge asses. That's still an influence on me. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Damaramu went off and being like, "Okay, I'll find this mink and kill her." And then he went back and was like, "Wait, who? What does she look like?" You didn't tell me that. Anyway. We saw earlier that Mink accidentally kissed Saucer. Now her best friend, Lufa, is like, "I want an indirect kiss," in a totally not gay way. And now our dad is like, "I want to get out on this too." And it's a absolutely disgusting joke, and I love it. There's some Mink's creepy dad is a running thing. Like, we see it a few times in this anime, and it really goes far in the manga. Well, not super far, but just further than it does here. And, like, some might be bothered by it, and I wouldn't really blame them. But I feel like it's Mita does it in a way, like, where it's just so fucking over the top and horrible that it wraps back around and it becomes just super silly. She's a slime half. Slime half of yo. Slime half of yo. Slimeopolis. Land of slimes. So yeah, you can see what game was a big influence here. A flashback. Vina's mom is in love with the king. And everybody's like, "Yeah, I can see that, because the king kind of looks like a slime, doesn't he?" You know what? I don't know if Puyo Puyo was out in 1988, but Mado Monogatari was. It came out at almost the same time as Dragon Half, and I find that very interesting. This is something I realized this year. Mado Monogatari and Dragon Half were created at almost the same time, and Mado Monogatari has a girl that's a lot like Mink in it. It has Draco. And, like, she even goes hoi hoi hoi. Draco goes hoi hoi hoi, and Mink goes hoi hoi. Like, for different reasons. Draco does it when she gets defeated and tired. Mink does it when she's, like, happy. But they both make those noises, and I find it really, like, was it a coincidence, or did the artists know each other? Like, you know? Because, like, they were created at such the same time that they couldn't have, like, aped off each other. Anyway, Vina was born as a little slime girl. Her mom drank a potion that made her human, so she was no longer a slime. So they weren't expecting her that. They weren't expecting to have a slime daughter. And that shocked them so much that her mom died. But anyway, Vina learned magic. She studied magic really hard, just so she could become human again, like her mom. And, I like that transition there, by the way. She was like, "I did it, mother!" And it fades back into the present. So, like, Vina's now a really powerful priestess now, and she became one because she wanted to learn magic so bad so she could become a human girl. But it's not a perfect spell. Like, if she suffers an injury, she becomes slime again. Her dad is like, "Don't go after Mink, I'm going after Mink." And she's like, "Fuck you, Dad." Opaka-san? Opaka-san? She got slimed by her own dad. The animation in this show is really good, by the way. It's by Production IG. And since there are only 2 episodes of this, they were able to budget pretty well. But anyway, that potion that the slime drank, that Vina's mom drank, to make her human, Mink is on a quest to find that potion because she wants to become completely human too, so that she can marry Dick Saucer. Dick Saucer hates dragons, you see, He's not gonna want to marry a dragon girl. Even though Mink is 99% human, she just has horns and wings, but still that's a bit much for the dragon-hating Dick Saucer. So she has to drink the human potion, the potion of pedo, and become human. And Rufus an idiot. Yep, Puyo Puyo is a spin-off game. And that's we have seen what Mappy can do. Ooh, pecs. Damaramu hasn't eaten in 7 days or something, 10 days. So he says his catchphrase, Damaramu's regretful. Isn't that right, Lassie? Yeah. It's not exactly an inspiring story, but you know, it's the hook. Eventually, it doesn't happen in the anime because the anime's too short. It only covers the first part of the manga. But eventually, like, her need to become human gets her caught up in a much bigger quest to defeat a great evil, and that becomes like the main plot. Damaramu wants to eat the mouse. I think he might have trouble doing that, but here's Mink. I really like how she grabs her leg like that. Damaramu's so small. I love this. Sword in the forehead animation. It's so silly. And Mink's pretty cool. No one can take her on. So Damaramu's being like, take this dragon, and Mink keeps saying, I'm a dragon half, dragon half. Don't do it. Luffy's a terrible friend. That's such good animation. Look at this. That's so good. I can't get over it. Yeah, I love the acting too. They're all perfect. They got some actors for this. I'm pretty sure that that Mita wrote the comic with like Kotono Mitsuishi in mind when he was writing Mink's dialogue, and he wanted her, and they got her. Bappy saves the day. Damaramu is regretful. Don't worry, that's not the last we'll see of him. That's the last we'll see of Lassie, though. He's gone. They're eating him. The poor guy, poor Lassie. That's what he gets for hanging with the wrong company, right? Now this king is doing something really insidious. He's calling upon Dick Saucer, Mink's love of her life. He's getting him to go after her now. He's all like, this doesn't come up in the animated version, it comes up in the comic. But Saucer's parents were killed by a red dragon. That's why he hates them so much. So the king is like, there's a red dragon out there. This is it. It's like, I remember her. And he's like, she'll try to charm you. Don't fall for it. She's a scary dragon. Honestly, I don't like Dick Saucer either. He's like a handsome, he's a handsome dude. He's got the mane, he's got the cool anime guy design. Mink is like, I have a feeling things are going to go really well, and the narrators are saying, no, they're not, Mink. Hold on, okay, I gotta shut up now, I gotta shut up. It was kind of fun explaining what was going on in the anime because the subtitles were left off. I kind of enjoyed that, so I don't know, blessing in disguise, I guess. And yeah, like popular internet gif, that Mink dancing animation. This is the origin. So Mink is singing about how much she likes eggs. And of course it's Kotono Mitsubishi doing the scene. Tamago. Those eggs are hers. You can't have them. Alright, that was Dragon Half Episode 1. One of my favorite animes ever. I'm glad I got to watch this with you. I'm gonna take a short setup break and set up some gaming, so give me just a second. We'll be back soon.
taste this grace, let you groove. I tell you when I want you to move. The coolest, I'm so slamming, bodies jamming. Bad to the bone, you should have known I'm in my own zone. Good looks and no need for a crew. If I got it, then I'll come after you. You better not pout and you better not cry, cause bad's coming, choose live or die. Coolest, I'm so slamming, bodies jamming. Bad to the bone, you should have known I'm in my own zone. Taste this grace, let you groove. Get when I want you to move. I'm so slamming, bodies jamming. Bad to the bone, you should have known I'm in my own zone. And no need for a clue. But now the other thing comes to me. Better not count it, better not try. If the bad's man, choose to live or die. I'm so slamming, bodies jamming. Bad to the bone, you should have known I'm in my own zone.
Okay, I'm 3D again. I was going to play a bit of El Viento today, and I still might. But hearing the Katamari news made me realize, yeah, I could play a little bit of that. Why are you there, Winamp? Hold on a second. Winamp's just kind of hanging out here with me. Hold on. Oh, by the way, the Blue Angels are still in fucking Seattle. They're still here. They won't fucking leave. So if you're probably going to hear some douchebags flying in the background. Not much I can do about that except wait for them to get the hell out. All right. Yeah. Later on, Dragon Pink. Yeah, let's show that on Twitch. Let's do that. Dragon Pink artist and the Dragon Half artist knew each other it was very obvious that they knew each other because Mink does show up in Dragon Pink. I thought that was kind of funny. I was like, wow, okay. Anyway, we're not going to show Dragon Pink. All right. All right, Katamari. I'm not sure where I left this game. Yes, save changes. We Katamari. We heart Katamari. Okay, Mr. Sunshine. I'm already found the swing. Thank you. Babu. Okay. Oh, looks like I got all the cousins. Should I just start a new game? I'm thinking I should just do that, actually. Alright. Oh. I can't just load a empty game. Alright, can I just... Does this take me back to the title, or does it quit the game entirely? Okay, good. M. Oh. Okay.
The great cosmos. A world of mystery, both tantalizing and terrifying. Not a very well-publicized world, you understand, but a glamorous and influential world nevertheless. Bold yet sensitive and rugged to boot. Tolerant and compassionate with a heart deeper than the oceans. Such is the great cosmos, and the king that rules over it is marvelous to behold. Except for the one time that he destroyed all the stars in the universe. No big deal, really. Having come to and realized the folly of his ways, the wisest of kings sent to the planet Earth...
Okay, I got my takoyaki balls.
...and commanded him to make a Katamari of ample proportions.
I'll try to tilt my mic away while I'm eating them. Like that.
Prince rolled the Katamari entrusted to him by the king, rolling up more
Hey, buddy.
things than you can count. Vaulting boxes, pencils, erasers, postcards,
ramen, robots, cows, sheep, this girl, that boy, moms and dads, bicycles, legs and hands, blazing rainbow clouds, islands,
the prince rolled them all up, rolled and rolled until the Katamari was big enough to be lifted up to space to replace the shiny stars that were so grievously lost. And that, dear friends, was the plot and purpose of the fabulous game called
Katamari Damacy!
Its popularity recognized no boundaries or borders, and it rolled right out of the game to bundle away the many and sundry ills that blight the modern world. Overnight, the king found himself a superstar. The adulation of the crowd knew no limits.
I want to meet the king! Or he should be bigger. The king is so cool!
I like how, just in hindsight, how obvious this story is, that it's about Keita Takahashi, like, dealing with something he created to actually becoming successful, and, like...
King to do his thing.
how it's cool, but not completely cool. It's kind of annoying in some ways, too. Hold on a second. Still not enough stars here. Okay. Let me know. I'm going to turn the... Since it's Katamari, the music, we want to hear the music, so I'm going to turn it up kind of higher than I normally turn things up. Let me know if you cannot hear me anymore. So I guess nobody was expecting a Katamari announcement, huh? And Honestly, I think the reason nobody was expecting it was because nobody asked for one. I hate to put it that way. I mean, it's fine. I guess. Here's the thing about me and Katamari. I love Katamari Damacy. We love Katamari. I'm a big fan of these two games. And more than anything, I am a big fan of Keita Takahashi, the creator. I'm a fan of his vision. I'm a fan of the way he does things. I'm a fan of just his philosophy. He is not somebody who entertains to be popular and liked by everybody. He does it because he wants to put unique and weird things out there that only he can do. He did that with Katamari, and he didn't expect it to become a hit. Nobody expected it to become a hit. Namco released it in the United States in limited quantities for $20. Nobody thought anyone would really want it. And yet, it became a mega hit. It ran away from everybody. It just kind of rolled over everything and smashed everyone's heads in. It was just ridiculous. So, of course, Namco, the company, was like, well, we're printing money here. We gotta print more of it. We gotta make more of these. And Keita Takahashi was like, well, I made the game. I don't need to make another one of these. I want to do something else. Because I want to move on, and I have about 800,000 million billion other ideas in my head. Can we do one of those instead? And Namco was like, no, we gotta print more money. We gotta make more Katamari that everybody wants. And you know, obviously Takahashi's like, yeah, okay, fine, let's do it. And this game came out of it, and it's a game about making a sequel because everybody wants it. And this game is great. It's one of my favorite games ever. Good sequel. But you know, that was enough for him. This game did well. Namco wanted to make a franchise out of this. They wanted to keep going. They wanted to keep rolling. They wanted to keep rolling that Katamari. And Takahashi was done. He was 100% done after this one. Had to be released. Had to be let go. Had to move on. And with, you know, when We Love Katamari ended, so did Keita Takahashi's vision. And that just resonates really strongly with me. That's just, I feel his vision gone with all the subsequent Katamari games. They're just kind of there to beautiful Katamari, Tribute, Me and My, you know, all those. They're just kind of there to give us more Katamari. And that's fine. That's what people want, more Katamari, but that's pretty much all it is. It is no longer a statement by the creator Keita Takahashi. There's no more meaning coming out of it. It's just more of the game. And to some people, you know, I can understand that they're just like, oh, well, cool, more Katamari, yeah, whatever, yeah, let's play. And yeah, I mean, it's fun. It's a fun game. So, you know, yeah, of course. But, ultimately, I got beautiful Katamari for the Xbox. I got all the DLC when it was on sale. It was fine. The level design was just kind of not there. It was a lot of stages where like items were just kind of piled in one place, and time limits that were much smaller, so you had to kind of memorize everything to get the optimal way through and all that. And then Tribute came out, and it wasn't much of a tribute because it was like half the game was beautiful Katamari. Like more than half the game, I think. And not much of the originals. And then the originals were made worse for some reason. They reduced the time limits even more. Like, I think they cut like 4 minutes off like the Make a Star 4 stage from Katamari 1, for instance. Which I guess is fine if you know the house level inside and out. You know how to get through it really fast. But The thing is, they cut out all the other house levels. They only included the final house level. They only included the final version of every level. They included make a star 4, make a star 8, and make a star and make the moon. They include those 3 levels, which are like the final versions of all the stages. So you don't have the earlier stages from the game to like show you around and the map of the area and where things are. And on top of that, they like cut 4 minutes off the time limits. And they added these power-ups, which ostensibly make things easier, so I guess you could do things faster, but it doesn't really work out that way. But, so yeah, I didn't care for Tribute, but one thing I will say about Tribute is the soundtrack was amazing. Like, Keita Takahashi may have left Katamari, but Yu Miyake stayed on. So at least they had the spirit of Katamari music. At least they stayed along and kept that going through those games. So like Beautiful Katamari's soundtrack was alright. It's probably the worst, but not bad. Like, it's good. But like Katamari Tribute soundtrack is insane. Like, it's full of remixes and mashups that are all just absolutely perfect. Like, my favorite one, probably the most famous one, is like they mashed up You Are Smart with Everlasting Love. Like, one of the most unlikely mashups you could think of, and it just sounds so perfect. But, anyway, yeah. Another Katamari game is just going to be more of that, is the problem. It's probably going to be, like, the best music in the entire world. I'm going to love listening to it. And probably nothing I really want to play that much. It's going to be a game that makes me just want to play this game. That's kind of what I'm thinking is going to happen here. I could be mistaken, though. Maybe they'll find a way to make Katamari, like, really fun and engaging and amazing again. But there's no way in hell they're getting Keita Takahashi back, and like how Okami's getting Kamiya and the others back. There's no way they're gonna get the original creator back for Katamari. That's just not happening. So as long as that's the case, I don't know if I'm that interested. I have to get bigger. I never, all that being said, I never experienced much of other Keita Takahashi's other stuff. I never played Nobi Nobi Boy, and that's honestly just because, like, it took me a long time to get the PlayStation... What was it 3? Was it 3 that game came out for? I think it was the 3rd. And, like, yeah, it took me a long time to get the PlayStation 3, and I'm not really a PlayStation gamer. So I don't think I ever even got the 4 or beyond. And now if you want to play Nobi Nobi Boy, I guess it's possible, but it takes a lot of work. And I would like to find out how. I'd like to look into that. I think I looked into it once and I was like, wow, this is tough. There's also the whole thing where Nobi Nobi Boy had like collaborative aspects to it, which, I mean, I don't think you can do that anymore. Unless you can. Unless there's somebody built their own server, I don't know. Got a cousin. Royal Rainbow. That being said, after this birthday bash is over, or maybe during it, maybe right now. Hold on a second. Why prolong this? Why prolong it? Why prolong my thoughts on this? I'm going to go look up 2T in the Steam store right now and start downloading it. Yeah. It's my birthday. Gotta treat myself. Let's put my money where my mouth is. I'm a big Keita Takahashi fan. Let's give him $20 right now. Will it download the game while I'm playing this one? It looks like it is. All right. Okay. I guess we'll play that next. I'm not gonna play through this whole game. I'm gonna probably get through a few stages and then move on to another thing. And yeah, I was too busy blabbering, but like you're right, Genie, like you can tell how Metal Gear stopped being Kojima's thing. Although like that's a little more complicated. There are a lot of people involved with Metal Gear, and a lot of people would argue that when Kojima stopped having co-writers and did everything himself, that became a bit of an issue. But still, yeah. Sometimes when a creator just is done, you can really tell. You don't blame the company for wanting to keep it going. They are money machines after all. But when the creator's been either leaves or is pushed out, yeah, it's yeah, never really the greatest moment. Baby Universe. Such a good song. It's sung by Maki no Miya from Pizzicato 5. Yeah. It always comes back to... People might be tired of hearing about it, but that's too bad. It's just how things are. Capitalism really does ruin and destroy everything. It always kind of comes back to that. If you want to know why something is good, that used to be good, stopped being good, and is now bad, about 250 times out of 251 times, the reason will have something to do with capitalism. Oh, I won. I didn't get it fast enough to get a comment. I'm a bit rusty at this, apparently. Down macho. It's August 2nd. Today is August 2nd, the birthday of me and my first crash. Roll capitalism into a Katamari. Hell yeah. Baby. Ugh, I'm not doing very well. I should be much bigger than this. Kind of Katamari Forever player am I? I'm only 29 centimeters. Ah, couldn't quite make it 30. That's fine. Cracker Uranus. Okay. Yeah, be on that planet, it's like being low. Get it? Hey, it's the king, but he's little now. Or he was little. He used to be little. Does it explain the king's actions? Maybe. Does it excuse them? Oh, yeah. Co-op and Katamari? Sure. Hey, 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 here. Oh, heck yeah. Is this a good starting point? I don't think it is. I don't know about this. I forget what the best one is. Let's look around. This one seems okay. Yeah, there's a trail of stuff. Okay. Time to ignore our dad. Let's see, where do I go? It's such a weird song. One of the weirder songs from the soundtrack. I got the mouse. Don't worry about me, Dad. You have to be 20? Okay. Let's go. interesting how they let that loading dialogue in, even though it loads much faster in this version. Don't want to silence the king, just because your computers run better now. Better than PlayStation 2 did. He has things to say. PET bottles. Okay, I did it fast this time. That's Katamari. Whoa. Bunnies! Bunnies are part of us now. Also, I can't thank everyone enough for getting me those throne gifts. I wasn't sure about if I would make it. I wasn't sure if that would make it, and it did, and I'm really happy. Those bunny ears look so, like, as soon as I saw them, I was like, oh god, those... There's a lot of bunny ears out there in the world that people can wear, and those look really nice. I gotta have the best quality bunny ears I can, right? Ugh. Somebody please shoot them down. Anyway. Fucking hate air shows, man. I hate air shows. I hate them. Those planes, like, fly, like, right over the whole neighborhood I'm in right now because people who are downtown, who don't even, like, live in this neighborhood, want to see the planes. And yeah, it disturbs everybody here. It sucks. Do they care? No. Anyway, what was I talking about? Yes, bunnies. I cannot wait to wear those. I hope that they fit okay, because like there's really no way to know until they get here. I'm assuming what they are. What I'm assuming it is like an adjustable like metal headband kind of thing that you can bend and shape to your head. But we'll see when they get here. I do know that whatever the case, I'm going to take some extra good care of them because they're they are top shelf bunny ears. Maslow's hierarchy, that's right. So yeah, I'm going to reopen my Fansly. I never really closed it down completely. It was more like I'm going to go on a hiatus until things get better, and things didn't per se get better. What happened was everything around Fansly got worse, which is not exactly what I wanted. But it kind of made me realize, yeah, it could have been worse. Could have been worse what they did. They still allow bunny girls as long as I guess I'm not completely have hair on me, all over me. As long as I only have the ears and the tail, I guess it's fine. Ooh, got some bunny ears off AliExpress, huh? I'm glad they turned out good. These ears were from China. A lot of stuff from Throne is from outside the US, as it turns out. But the shipping is fine, so tariffs haven't destroyed everything there yet. That's right, there's a picture mode in this game now. And you can find little Namco sprites to take pictures of, but I never really did that. I never really did that part. Honestly, I get this tribute game. I get this reroll game. And nothing about it particularly interests me except for the stuff that was already there. Like, the new stages are fine. They're better than the new stages in... They're better than the stages in, Beautiful, and the single new stage they added to Tribute. Like, they're better than those stages. They put more effort into that, so that's fine. But still, I just want to play the original. I'm fine with the original. Very tricky stage this one is. I'm going to start over. I did not do very good. Okay. I forgot the optimal way to do this. I think you have to find the schools of fish and roll over them. Yeah, like those. Oh, those are too big, though. But yeah, the first things I'll be doing, I'll be starting on this tomorrow. I'm going to be starting on getting my Fansly up to date tomorrow, so I'll be uploading all the comic pages that have been added. I avoided that. Hold on. I went out of my way to steer around that, and somehow I ended up hitting it. I don't know how that happened. Ah! This stage is kind of a pain. Let's see. Oh yeah, I want to hit those Haniwas as soon as I can. Clownfish. Okay. I'm going to upload the rest of the pages of my comic, that set I did recently where I, like, took pictures of my legs for, like, people, to help people out with, like, reference photos. They can use as reference photos. I'll be adding that set. I did a few other things using, like, my new ring light, my new, like, $20 ring light. Like, just something I used my Amazon gift certificate for. Hey, I didn't. What the fucking piece of my shit? I didn't even see the hook at all. All right. I'm fine. It's fine. Where do I go next? I'm not sure. find out. Well, not there. That accomplished nothing. Can I get those fish? I'm gonna play this out. So yeah, that ring light was like the cheapest thing, and yet I took some of my photos have improved by like 200,000% with them. I can see why like TikTokers use tools like that. I can see why today's youth of today use these fascinating things called ring lights. I am very impressed with this new gall darn fangled technology these kids are using to make their sexy photos. And I hope to continue making great stuff. I'm really happy. I'm still really finding it hard to get over that one photo of mine that got like 300 likes in 2 days. It's like, yay! You think my boobs look really good in that picture, and I agree, thank you. I appreciate it. Makes me want to make more. Makes me want to make more boob photos for everybody, especially myself, though. So I will. I don't know if there will be a lot of subscriber-exclusive content for Fansly. Never been my way of doing things, you know? I like to give everything I do away, and then, like, tell people, hey, you wanna throw money my way, you can do that. It's just kind of reflective of my financial situation now. I'm in a position where it's not great, I would say. I'm not making money. I don't have a steady income, but I do have a lot of savings. Savings that can get me by for about maybe 2 years, at least 1.5 years. And like, it doesn't sound like a lot, but it lets me like live the way I want to right now for a little while, and not many people have that. And when I think about it, I feel like, yeah, I'm not exactly like better than everybody else. There's nothing I did that makes me deserve this kind of help, you know. And not everyone has it, and I just kind of get... And it's best not to think of things that way, you know, but I can't help it, right? It just, you know, feeling like I have things easier because of random chance, not because I really earned it, per se. But, because of that, like, it's kind of because of that I feel inclined to, like, not really ask for a lot, and just kind of, I want to give stuff away as much as I can, and like, yeah, if people want to contribute, then yeah, it'll put off the like 2-year thing, right? It'll make it so that maybe 3 years I'll run out of money instead of 2. And that'll help, like, in the long run, of course it'll help. So like, I encourage people to do it, but don't do that instead of donating to Palestine, essentially. You know. Man, I am very tiny. I did not pick up nearly enough stuff. Here, let's get the mermaids. Wow, I flubbed this level. I boat-dangled this level. And yeah, like, when I do the Fansly stuff, it is definitely a me thing. It is for my... Okay. It is because I feel good about myself and the way I look, and I just like to show people. So like, asking for money on top of that, like, it's just something I feel the need to do just for safety in the distant future. But I'm like, it's more I'll put this up on Fansly. You can subscribe. You won't get much for the subscription, but you'll be paying for, like, my ability to do this for the world and myself and stuff. And That's always kind of how I like. I prefer to do things for a while, and like I see that, knowing full well that not everyone is in a position where they can do that. And it's like but it's making the best of it. I think is what it's about. So yes, and it does turn out that Fansly is my biggest moneymaker right now. I mean, I guess Patreon still is. Technically, I should probably advertise my Patreon more too. I just straight on don't upload things to my Patreon. I say Patreon's like a tip jar, and the reason why like I make money off that is because it's been around the longest. So like people are still using it, and you know, no point in like canceling your subscription there and then going to Fansly or whatever. If you're just, you know, you're getting the same stuff really. Ooh, the flower one. This has the best song. And you only get to hear half of it during the stage because the song is like 12 minutes long. I know it's not the same for everybody, but I gotta say, once I got on hormones, I was already okay with showing myself. I didn't look bad. I didn't look terrible. I didn't look terrible before I transitioned, so I would post photos of me online before that, but not nearly as much as I do now. It's like a dam bursting open, I tell you what. Oh, this song's so good. Posting it on 4chan, though, that's pretty brave. I mean, you could do it anonymously, of course, but still, it's your face. And 4chan's not... I like to say it's like the Nazi headquarters. It had a lot of normal people on it, too. It depended on the board. It still seems like still seems like a dangerous place on the whole, though. I haven't been there. That being said, I haven't been there in like 15 years. I'm assuming it's gotten worse. Like everybody, the way it's like Twitter, right? The way sometimes these social networks work is like the awful people are the loudest, so all the good people leave. But I do wonder, what if I like just what if I posted on 4chan? What if I posted my tits on 4chan? How would they react now? Like a little dark, evil part of me is just like wonders that. It's never going to actually happen, don't worry, I'm not actually going to do that, but there's a little dark part of my brain. It's like, what if I did that? What if I... How crazy would that be? How fucking insane would that be? I want that flower. I'm not big enough. Compared to the first Katamari game, these collection stages were out of control. I think the most you collected in the first game was like I want to say... Like there's a stage where you collected 300 of the item. I'm already up to 800 of these flowers. 4chan is just one of those forums that someone like me should never use. Because of my tendency to, like, not really filter myself as much as I probably should. I mean, it makes the anonymous nature of the forum enticing, but then I would just post my name on there anyway. And then I would say things that most people are smart enough not to say. Gets to the point where I'm like, yeah, let's ruin my life. It's fun. I'm still unfiltered, but I do it in I do it in a more positive way. I do it in a more sexy way. I do it in a more, yeah, that's how I would describe it. Instead of being like a ranty, hating kind of person, I'm a crazy, sexy person. Thank you, Milky Cow. Welcome in. It's all about finding your strange habits and making them more positive. That's a good way to describe 4chan's earlier days. It's like the just joking forum. We said something racist, but it's just a joke. Unless. And then then it stopped being a joke. Even though it never really was when you think about it, but okay, that was a cool stage. Anything else I want to do? I don't want to do the room cleaning stage. I hate that stage. Looks like I have to if I want to make progress. Oh. Okay, that's right. You have to try to roll up the sun once, but you can't do it. So you have to try again later when you've completed more of the game. Let's go ahead and fail to roll up the sun. Do I have to roll up something first? Okay, that's sun. That's that sun button. I should probably get reroll for the for Steam. I have reroll for the Switch. I have reroll for the Switch and We Love Katamari. I mean, the first reroll for the Switch and the second one for the Steam. Which means that the stuff that the first reroll unlocks in We Love Katamari can't do that because it's cross-platform. Which is kind of silly, isn't it? I used to get a lot of indie games off. This isn't an indie game, but I used to get a lot of my games that like my back when I first owned the Switch, that would be primarily where I got my games. Eventually, Bloodstained. I'm gonna go ahead and play this guy's stage and then move on. I think I would like to play one more normal stage, one more standard stage. Like it was fine at first, you know, it was fine playing the games on the Switch at first, until I got to games like Bloodstained, and it was like, oh, the Switch is kind of not a kind of behind, isn't it? Kind of falling behind, isn't it? And I just kind of I rebought games like Bloodstained for Steam. I got a decent computer because I could afford it at the time. and things just kind of migrated over there, and it became more and more apparent that, yeah, like, look, why get anything on the Switch anymore? I don't use the portable part of it, so it just doesn't make sense. And I think a lot of people kind of did that, you know? It's not just me. I'm not a special girl here. A lot of people stopped being console gamers and became Steam gamers, or I say Steam as if they're the only choice. I realized yesterday when GOG did its cool thing, I'm like, why don't I have a fucking GOG account? What's wrong with me? So I gotta make that too. I gotta make a GOG account. I'm assuming you can pronounce it like that, right? It's not just GOG, you can pronounce it GOG, because I'm gonna do that whether it's appropriate or not. GOG. 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 It's like, yeah. There was a time when it made sense, when consoles were very different from each other. Genesis and Super Nintendo were very different in resolution, color, depth, all that kind of stuff. It made sense for like consoles that do their own thing and have their own games and be completely different. It's not like that anymore. Like, all games are kind of the same across platforms now, you know? You can't play a different version of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the arcade game, on the NES, the Genesis, and the Super NES. It's just the one game, and it's whatever console you want it on. So, like, Nintendo had the right idea compared to, like, Sony and Microsoft and stuff. Like, when their focus came to be more on, like, doing things outside of the games that other consoles can't do. So like, either Wiimotes or portability or things like that. Like, that's why Nintendo's doing pretty well. That being said, I don't feel like I need any of that now. All the innovations Nintendo introduced were pretty good. I'm not going to say they were bad, but ultimately I just kind of like playing games. I don't need the 3D stuff that the 3DS had. I don't need gyro sensor gaming. I don't need to, if I'm going out to hang out at, like, Cal Anderson Park, I don't need to be playing video games there. I can just bring a book. Yeah. Nintendo made good choices, but they're still not choices that interest me. So, like, when I say I'm not buying the Switch 2 anytime soon, it's not kind of Nintendo being mean. They are mean. They've always been mean since forever. Since they ever existed. They've been litigious and overprotective and crazy about lawyers since they existed. Donkey Kong had a legal battle, you know, fucking Donkey Kong. Like, they stole code from the programmers. They didn't program Donkey Kong, another company did. And then they stole their programming to make other games. And they got into a legal battle over it. Donkey Kong, you know? Nintendo was always like that. So it's a bit late to take a stand against that now, I think. But, and, like, the way they, like, don't really care about queer people, that's pretty obvious. That's annoying. But I don't want to support them because of that. But, ultimately, it just comes down to they have nothing I need anymore. They have a cool Donkey Kong game, and that's it. That's not worth $500. That's right. Switch 2 is great because of all the Switch 2 jokes. And they're all good. I love them. But that's all the Switch 2 is good for. I will play Bonanza someday. It won't be any time within the next 5 years. It just won't. Oh, I can't pick those up yet. That's not good. There is one game, exactly one game, that's coming out on the Switch that I can't get on the PC that I'm looking forward to. And it is the Ernest Evans Collection by Idea. Idea, for some reason, doesn't publish games on the PC, so I'll be getting that on the Switch. The Ernest Evans Collection was supposed to come out in July, or June, actually. I don't know what's going on. It hasn't been talked about at all since it was announced. And I'm like, I know I'm probably the one person in this country that's disappointed in this, that's giddy for this. I want Ernest Evans. I want it now. I want Ernest. Nobody else does, but I do. and I don't know why. What's the hold up? What's the hold up, Idea? I want my Ernest Evans for the Nintendo Switch. Yeah, no one's a fan of Nintendo's weird times. Release stuff for a certain amount of time, and then stop and make people... Like, I got suckered into buying... I have not touched a fucking Mario 3D collection since I got it. And I was really annoyed with that because, like, Nintendo made it... pressured us into buying it by making it timed. And on top of that, they did a giveaway for it, without mentioning that they had extremely limited quantities for it. So it turns out nobody actually got the free Mario keychains or whatever shit that was supposed to come with the game. I missed out on that. And I was like, what the fuck, man? I feel cheated. I felt actually cheated. Like Mario keychains. Yeah, I'm sure there are people who want El Viento because El Viento's good. El Viento's a really good game. Ernest Evans and it Returns are not, but El Viento's great. I love it. We'll play it next. We'll play it after this. Not right after this. I want to watch a cartoon first, but I do want to play El Viento this stream. It would have been nice if I could have played it on the Ernest Evans collection, but yeah, I don't know what's going on. Yeah, I like how GOG's just giving away, like, the Freak Pack for freaks. That's... It harkens back to what I was saying earlier about bravery to stick up for certain things. We gotta do it. Can't be selective at this time, and people are realizing that. I'm glad people are realizing that. I really am. Like, I feel like as awful as credit card companies are being and how things are going, like, it's... Sometimes it takes awful things to wake people up, you know? People are getting more woke, as they say. As they say. I like having more comrades. Welcome, comrades. Welcome to Sicko Comics and Sicko Gaming. Enjoy your stay. Here's a copy of one of my favorite comics. It's called Death Panda. It's probably one of the least offensive comics that Y2 Uziga has ever drawn, but it's still pretty offensive. A very good entry point, you know. Welcome to the Freak Club. It has been... I say this knowing that I'm bringing it up now, so I'll keep this brief, but it's been amazing how easy it's been for me not to bring up my past with comics during this whole discussion. I'm not gonna even elaborate. If you know, you know. But I'm just gonna say that past with comics made me lose a lot of faith in people in ways that I never thought I'd get back. But I'm getting them back now because of this fight that's going on. We rolled up another planet. We got a present. Okay, that was a fun little Katamari thing. I didn't do my... I'm gonna have to confess, I don't call people because I'm a horrible mess, but I try to do what I can to raise awareness for people who can call people. And I didn't do that yet today because it was my birthday, and I'm like, I'm birthday focused, gotta talk about me, gotta focus on me all day. But at the end of the day, I do gotta make my rounds, do those retweets. There are people who are doing like art, strip games and other art things, rewarding people for calling, and I want to get in on that. I need to start something like that. So I gotta think about what I want to do there. I might not do anything super unique. I might just do a strip game like everyone else is doing, but strip games are fun. I like the last one I did. If I did a strip game, would I use Skippy again, who's usually my stand-in OC? Or should I just use myself this time? I'm very leaning toward the latter, but I'll think about it. The king lost his pompadour. What a tragedy. Okay, yeah, treating myself. Speaking of treating myself, I'm gonna take a little break, a little water stretch break thingy, and then I'll be back with more gaming. I think I'm in a mood to continue gaming. We'll play a bit of El Viento and see how fast I can get through it. Until then, yeah, let's have a little bit of. Let's see what should I put on. Like, the Bust a Move soundtrack is pretty cool, but let's see what else I got. Actually, I'll put on this song that I just talked about. It's relevant.